Hi, my name's Kim. I'm a specialized Chinese medical provider and Taoist practitioner, and this channel is all about you, sharing information and solutions from the ancient Chinese cabinet of healing remedies and helping you figure out how to use those solutions in your everyday life. And today I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about the complementary relationship between Taoism and mindfulness. So for those of you that have a mindfulness practice, I'm going to share some of the theory in Taoism that can help you expand your mindfulness practice. And then at the end of this, I'm going to share with you 4 things that I do on a daily basis that help me stay focused and positive. Okay, if you're ready, let's get started.
I've been thinking about the link between mindfulness and Taoism. They both have this innate desire to find yourself in the present. It's like all sorrows happen in your memories, or all your fears happen in anticipation of some future. And of course, your greatest joys arise in memories, or your highest expectations can happen anticipating the future. I can still remember as a kid waking up and going downstairs and seeing the Christmas tree every morning for the week before Christmas. It was like that day was never going to come. And the closer the day came, the further away it seemed. Or I remember taking care of my mother and sister during the last years of their lives. And the grief of trying to come to grips with the tremendous changes that had happened in our lives was pretty devastating. Time had arrived, and many things happen in time. The closeness my sister and my mother and I shared in our younger years was modified. My mother's dementia had taken her away, and age had limited her movement. My sister's illness made it really difficult for her to move around, and the reality of her illness was overbearing on her. There is a lot of grief in letting go. And yet, there is this never-ending movement to find inner peace where all good lives. When I play back these memories, I wonder what anyone thinks when they search for this point of perfect peace. It seems a little bit crazy to give up all the color and flavor of the world. Am I trying to run away from something? Here is where Taoism helped me find my mindfulness practice. And Taoism helped me see more to this world than just our emotions of the past, future, and present. Taoism is fundamental to classical Chinese medicine. It is one of the foundational pillars of ancient thought of health and wellness and resonates today. There is a discussion on how the energetics of life moves to the physical body of being human. It takes an enormous amount of energy and focus to separate from the Tao and become human. And separation from the Tao creates your spirit. The spirit is you as a blank slate, void of judgments, likes, dislikes, preferences, needs. Zhengzi identified the spirit as the ultimate goodness. And that seems like a complicated topic. Ultimate goodness. I had to think if I had any correlations I might be able to use today. And I do love a philosophical discussion, and one of the more esoteric religious talks is that of perfect goodness. I wonder if perfect goodness could be something similar to the spirit in Taoism. If I fall back on my Christian roots, I think I can attach to the concept of perfect goodness, yet even that definition has limits as it is steeped in the desires and judgments of being human, and the idea of perfect goodness suddenly has a genuine human component to it. They say the Tao cannot be described. It's too much for you to understand. Although you come from it, you're different from it. Just as the sun is different and the wind is different, the Tao is different on a grander scale. I think about the universe and what is known about the universe. Everything we know about the universe fits in a jar the size of a thimble. Scientists estimate everything we know collectively as a human race represents only 4% of the universe. There's another 96%, and all we know is that it exists. Science can't figure out what it's doing or how it works at this time. It's just there. And the terminology used to describe dark matter and dark energy leave me thinking there is a correlation to the Tao in these substances. So if we look at the 4% of everything that we know and all the people in the world, think about how much of that 4% you know. To do anything, we need the help of many other people and their piece of that 4%. To drive a car, you need hundreds of thousands of people and their part of that 4%. You need people who know how to build factories, who know how to make steel, fabric, who know how to drive shipping vessels, who can run trains. And to have all these resources that do all that stuff, you need hundreds of thousands of people and their piece of the 4% to establish education and training. And when you start looking at it like this, you start to realize how very little you know about the universe. Of that 4%, what I know has become so small, I don't even know how to write it out as a number. I can't even fathom what that number would be because it would be so small. It's within this context. I think that is what they mean when they say the Tao cannot be described. It would be like a 5-year-old trying to teach you physics. It would be a really short class and probably one of your most enjoyable classes, but it wouldn't teach you about physics. It's the same thing when Taoism talks about the spirit. Sun Tzu says it's all goodness and doesn't go any further than that. He just lets you know it's a good thing and lets it go at that. To go any further now would be like anthropomorphism, where human traits are assigned to non-human entities. You couldn't help yourself because that is all you know. So, when I think about it, why would I continue to search for inner peace? Because there is something even better than what I have here. That is a little bit of the concept of faith in Christianity. You keep moving forward because you believe there is something even better. It's taken me time to get to a place where I can start to find peace again. Throughout all of this, I've used a blend of mindfulness and Taoism to become present again. Both have at their base a goal of becoming present. And the first step to any prolonged spiritual practice is to become present.
What I liked about mindfulness is it gave me simple exercises that I could use that changed my interaction with the world, making my interaction more aware of the positive and amazing things that happen every day. And what I liked about Taoism is it gave me a different perspective on life, helping me deal with my issues with perfectionism and adding substance to my mindfulness practice. So let me share with you 4 things that I use to help keep me focused in a positive direction.
And the first one turned out to be my most important one, and I wouldn't have thought so. But it turns out if I miss this one, my whole day can be backwards. So every day when I step outside, I take a pause and drink in the world. It never ceases to amaze me how no 2 mornings are identical. Every morning is different. Just that moment of appreciating the world and my place in it releases so much tension. I used to live in Arizona, and I moved there because I was interested in American Indian studies and the early American civilizations. There are so many ruins from earlier American civilizations in Arizona and up around the Four Corners area. And I used to love hiking out to these ruins and exploring. Now, it's really different today because the world has moved so much closer to many of these ruins that they're all protected now and they all have limited access. But when I was there, I remember studying how it used to be the Navajo Indians would wake up in the morning and step outside to greet the sunrise with a little corn powder.
I get that today. I understand how incredibly important and balancing it is to take a moment to welcome the day before you start your day. It's that whole concept of nature being so much bigger than you. And if you just give it a moment, you can't help but hear nature's compassion. This turned out to be my most valuable practice of the day. And without it, discouragement, distraction, disillusionment had a much easier time making it into my day.
Okay, the second thing I do is pick my thought for the week. It started out with creating small gifts that I would post on my social media. And as this pandemic played like a more significant role in my life and the stress became more pronounced, I changed how I was using these gifts. I started picking one that I could use to reflect on throughout the week to help pull me back from the brink of the abyss of crazy that's going on today. So I used to post my gifts on social media platforms and then keep it on my phone. When I was sitting in the office and something tipped my mental health to the negative, I could pull up the GIF and think about it. And then I thought, I'm going to put it on my website because I look at that every day. That became my thought for the day, and it's helped me out when I'm in situations where I'm stuck in a location and I just can't get away. It's like a quick hitter to help me let go of things that I don't want to carry. Okay, let's look at the third practice that I do, and that is scheduling. I schedule my self-care every day, and I've lived long enough to know the first thing that gets cut out of the schedule when I'm under stress is me time. And the only way you're going to get out of stress is with me time.
And I'm busy. With everything going on right now, there's just so many more steps to do anything. So everybody is just super busy. So if I don't plan me time, I'm not going to get any. And it's more than just planning. If I don't commit to my self-care, I can plan all I want. It's still going to get shoved to the back burner. I changed what I considered self-care because I started realizing that self-care has many different aspects. I started adding in time for cooking, baking, making meals. And I love doing this, but I grew up thinking it was a chore. And, life was always so pressing that I never had time to sit down and make something. So it just always felt like a chore. I started planning in 2 hours to make something delicious, and I enjoy every minute of it. Now I know I have time to replay an old favorite or try something new. And I can take time to enjoy the tastes and the textures that make a wonderful meal.
Kitten time went on the list of self-care. Spending time petting and brushing my aging kittens helped me see them and enjoy them while they're here. And knowing I had time for them allowed me to be present at the moment with them, which is really different than a pat on the head while I'm running out the door.
Everything that allowed me to participate more fully with the people and things in my life went into self-care. And it wasn't just about me meditating, working out, or eating better. It was about my physical, mental, and social well-being that all played a part in my self-care.
The fourth and last one is the 15-minute break. And when things have gotten really bad and I need to reset, I take a 15-minute break to meditate and empty my mind. If I need some help from nature, I've saved 15-minute coffee breaks that explore nature on my YouTube channel so I can let nature help guide me to inner quiet. I take 15 minutes and practice breathing and emptying my mind so I can really hear the world again. And if you need some help with breathing, I have a series out there on the 6 Taoist breaths and others on breathing and how you can use your breath in meditation. The rhythm of meditation is a great starter video to not only learn some of the different practices, but also the reasoning behind the practices. When I can really hear the world, I know I'm back in the present.
Okay, that's everything. And thanks for coming out and enjoying the show. And until next time, I'll catch you on the other side.